Read your Bible, pray every day, pray every day, pray every day. Read your Bible, pray every day. You will grow, grow, grow. You will grow, grow, grow. You will grow, grow, grow. Read your Bible, pray every day. You will grow, grow, grow.
Hello, boys and girls. We welcome you back to another episode of Treasures from the Bible. But as you know, we are also talking about the foundation stones of the New Jerusalem. The fourth foundation stone is the emerald. The emerald is a beautiful bright green color. The emerald stands for love, for prosperity. It also stands for hope, new life, and healthy body and a healthy mind. We find the emerald color all over in nature. We can see it in the beautiful ocean. We can see it in the emerald duck. We can also see the color of emerald in the swallowtail emerald butterfly, and also in the emerald hummingbird. God gave us these beautiful colors all over in nature. Today's treasure from the Bible comes from 1 Samuel, the first and the second chapter. It's the story of Samuel. Elkanah had a wife, Hannah, and Hannah couldn't have babies, and she was very sad because she couldn't have a baby. She loved children so much. So when they went up to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover, she went into the temple, knelt down and prayed very earnestly for God to give her a baby. Eli the priest came closer because he heard her and saw her crying, and he said, "What is the matter? Why are you crying?" "Oh," she said, "I just want a baby, and I'm asking God to please give me a baby. And if He does, I will give him back to work for the Lord." Eli the priest looked at her and he felt very sorry for her. But God impressed on his mind that he should tell her that she was going to have a baby, and that next year this time she will have a little baby. She felt so much better and went back home rejoicing and thanking God for the promise of a child. And it happened just like that. The next year she had a little baby boy, and she called him Samuel. When Elkanah went back the following year to worship in Jerusalem, she did not go with because the little boy was still small. But she remembered her promise that she would give him to work for God. And when he was about 3 years old, she went with her husband to the temple, and they took little Samuel with. And when they saw Eli, they said, "Eli, this is the baby that God had given us when we prayed for him. And I am now bringing him back to the temple to stay with you in the temple to work for God." Eli was so happy to see the little boy. And from then on, he worked with Eli in the temple, and it got bigger and bigger. Every year when his mommy came, she brought him a new coat, and she told him that how much she loved him. As he was working with Eli in the temple, he saw the other priests pray to God, and he learned all the stories. He saw how that Eli prayed. He helped Eli cleaning up the temple, lighting the candles, putting the showbread on the table, opening the curtains, and making sure that everything in the temple is 100% correct. Eli explained to him about everything in the temple and how that everything showed us towards God and God's love for us. He read to him from the scriptures, and Samuel became a very clever little boy. He always used to pray before he went to bed in the evenings. And one night while he was sleeping, he heard a voice calling him. And the voice said, "Samuel, Samuel." He thought it was Eli, so he jumped up and went to Eli's room. And he said, "Eli, you called me. Why are you calling me in the middle of the night?" And Eli said, "No, Samuel, I'm not calling you. You must have dreamt. You can go back to your bed." So Eli sent Samuel back to his bed. But again he heard the voice saying, "Samuel, Samuel." And he ran to Eli again and he said, "Eli, but you did call me. I heard you." And then Eli knew it was God talking to Samuel. And he said, "Samuel, if you hear the voice again, I want you to say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant heareth.'" Samuel went back to his room, and a little while later he heard, "Samuel, Samuel." And he sat up in his bed and he said, "Speak, Lord, for your servant heareth." God spoke to little Samuel and gave him special messages that he was to give to Eli. So that just shows us that even if we're small, God can still use us. And we are very grateful for the story of Samuel to know that God also keeps his promises, like he promised Hannah a little boy, and that she got the little boy that she prayed for. We trust that you enjoyed our story and that you will join us again next time for a gem out of the Bible.